Woohoo! Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in St. Louis, Missouri. Yes. And I want to welcome you if you are at home, if you are around the world, if you're in France, if you're in Mexico. I want to welcome you wherever you are, because when we were gone for 6 weeks, we watched this video streaming every single week. And you know, it's just as much fun, except the energy and the music is so much better when you're in person. So if you live in the area, join us every
also
Sunday.
Harder to watch on a cell phone.
I watched it on a cell phone, but then again, I have good eyesight. So any Sunday at 11 a.m., and you're welcome to join us. My name is Reverend Mary Jean DeRusha. And
I'm Larry DeRusha. Welcome, and it's 11 o'clock Central Time. I don't know what it is in France, but I think it's 11 hours difference. 6?
6 hours difference?
Oh, that's right. India's 11.
Okay, well, we have a few announcements for you.
Who's doing announcements?
Tom, aren't you doing an announcement?
Yeah. All right.
It's the first set. I made some corrections to them, so you have to read those. Okay.
Good morning. Anybody get fooled on April 1st? I've got some announcements here. Boy, there's a bunch. The DeRushas get home and things start happening. Imagine that. Okay, Wednesday, April 6th, that's this week. And for 7 weeks, Reverend Mary Jean is going to be teaching a new accredited class, Revealing Wholeness. The tuition is $140, which is a new lower price. And payment plans are available. If you turn in a deposit of $50, that'll hold your seat. The textbooks are the Science of Mind textbook, the big one, by Ernest Holmes, and Mind Over Medicine by Dr. Lissa Rankin. Call up Reverend Mary Jean. I'm starting to read it. You want to talk about it?
Okay, read the rest of them before. So you know where else you call me up. Hi! This Wednesday begins our class, and this book by Lissa Rankin, Mind Over Medicine, is fabulous. And along with this in the Science of Mind textbook, we're exploring wholeness, how you can stay well, how you can get well, how you can draw upon that universal principle of wholeness and be all that you can be. It's 7 weeks, starts from 6:30 till 9. And it's only $140, $50 down will hold your seat. It's a great class. Lillian Dew is teaching it with me, and so is Reverend Larry, because it also deals with some physics and stuff like that. So there's going to be 3 instructors for a 7-week class, and it's going to be fun. So I urge you to attend. But there was something else. Okay, yeah, but this one. So one of the things that we started up again is the Connection Cafe. That means food's going to be in Scott Hall all the time. But you know, once I declared that and put it in all the bulletins, I realized unless there's somebody helping Sherry Lease every week, she brings the salad, it doesn't really work. And in the past, we've always had at least one person that will come in each Sunday and help Sherry Lease. So we do have a sign-up out there. It's just numbered 1 through 5. If there's a week that you like, that you could want to commit to once a month, it'll allow us to continue it. We're just going to try it for April and see what happens. And we could also go back to our second Sunday social, and just somebody once a month comes and helps. So we're practicing. Just want to let you know that. Okay, here's Tom.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Well, you didn't say anything about Good Friday, did you? We're having a Good Friday service here at 7, right? Is it on Good Friday? That's week from Friday. We're going to have some readings, meditation, and music. A nice way to get into the spirit of Easter. It's spring, and that means yard cleanup. We're going to do Yard Angels on Saturday, April 9th from 9 to 1. David, do you want to talk about that? There you are.
This way you won't have to say a whole lot of stuff, Tom, if you can get somebody to do. So as usual, we like to spruce up, especially with spring coming. It's an awakening. It's a resurrection for everyone, and So we're going to be clearing out the old leaves and other debris matter. We're going to be planting some new flowers. We're going to get into the dirt. We're going to just have some camaraderie, and so we'll be out here starting 9 o'clock on Saturday. And if I'm directing a lot of things, some people accuse me of not doing anything because that may look that way. But so there'll be a lot of things that we'll have little teams of people, and hopefully this will be a way for you to do, kind of do a little bonding with some people here when you're out in nature. And so with that in mind, if you want to sign up, I'm going to direct people to the bookstore to sign up, or if you can't make it and you're feeling that you want to support the materials that we're putting down and around and planting, you're welcome to make a donation at the bookstore. They know you're coming, so be kind to them and don't rush the place with all your donations. But at any rate, Mary Jean?
Do you want people to bring their gloves and rakes or anything?
Yeah, if they, well, we'll have some of those things, but I think the most important thing to do would be to bring a rake, because there's going to be a lot of raking, and I will have some gloves, but if you have your favorite pair, bring them. So it's a good thought to bring that consciousness there. So at any rate, so we'll be cool when you're there, and so join us. And there'll be lunch served too, I understand. And Larry is going to have metaphysical food for everyone to eat. So, all right, thank you.
Great. Thanks, David. All righty. We've got an all-gender weekend intensive workshop with Reverend Mary Jean and Reverend Luzette. It's a call to greatness. It's Friday evening, April 29th at 6:30 p.m. through Sunday, May 1st. It's $195 if you sign up by April 17th, or after that date, it's $250. And again, a deposit of $50 will hold your seat. You can register by calling Reverend Mary Jean, and her number I'll say real quick, but it's, I think, in the bulletin. It's in the bookstore. Okay, never mind. So you can sign up in the bookstore. All right, you've heard about the connection, or online? Yeah, you want to say something?
So my sister Luzette, who's a master at NLP and has done a lot of healing work, she's coming in town from California to do this workshop. We've always done it before for just women, and this year we're opening it up to men. She has amazing experience. I've had so many healing stories with her. Also, my grandson, who was allergic to eggs when he was 9, he went to Luzette and her husband Robert and said, I don't want to be allergic to eggs anymore. Can you help me? And they took him downstairs and did a session with him. He came upstairs and has eaten eggs ever since. So there's a lot of amazing work that she does. She does a lot of women's groups in California too. She only comes out like once a year. She hasn't been out in 3 years because of COVID. So it's a time to come. If you need a scholarship or you need any help with money, let me know. But sign up in the bookstore just so we know how many pamphlets and how many people we're expecting. It's going to be fabulous.
Okay, we've heard from a lady. This is an opportunity to do some personal service for somebody. She wants to come and attend our celebrations, but needs transportation. She lives out in the Baldwin area. So let Reverend Mary Jean know if you're available to do this. This lady lives near Holloway and Manchester behind Target, if you're familiar with that area. And then the last couple things here, we have these bracelets in the bookstore to contribute to supporting Ukraine. Mine says Ukraine on it. There are different styles in there, and they're on a donation basis. There's a whole sign in there that tells you all about it if you go in there.
That has raised over $1,000.
She has, yeah. And it's going straight over. It's not like somebody's keeping part of it. Right, no middleman. And if you have a particular charity that you want her to route it through, I've done that, you can put that in there or tell her, and she'll do that. So there aren't many left right now. I think she's making more, but we've sold quite a few. And then You may have heard me announce in the past that we were doing auditions for a play coming up. Well, the play is in production, we're in rehearsal, and it's going to be one performance on April 24th at noon. I'm going to be putting up posters around. There's one out in the lobby now, and all the information is on the poster about that. So it's one performance. It's only about 40 minutes long, and we're including lunch in the tickets, so we're doing it right after the service on that Sunday. Anybody here for the first time, we've got a gift for you. Hey, good. Welcome. All right, back to the regular program.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Joni, and I spoke last week a little bit about the elections that are coming up on Tuesday, so just a reminder to put that on your calendar. The polls are open from, I think, 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. These are just your municipal elections where you live and the county that you live in. And so you can do your research and look things up online, but I just wanted to remind you a couple of kind of metaphysical principles, if you will. Voting, especially at the local levels, this is not political, this is civic. This is our responsibility as citizens, and it really is what has the most impact on your life, those local elections where you live. And it's democracy in action. Oftentimes the turnout is so low, it's like 20%. So what's decided, we're at the effect of the 20% who decide to show up. And so if you want to have things change, you want to make your voice heard and cast an informed vote. It's really important. I heard a speaker last week talk about how a lot of young people don't understand the difference between democracy and authoritarian government. Like, what's the difference? It's no big deal. And I think now the situation in Ukraine really brings that to light, how important having a voice in democracy is. So I would also encourage you, if you have young people at home who are old enough to vote, encourage them to vote. Your actions model it for them. You want them to participate, to be able to research and cast an informed ballot, and increase that voter turnout rate so that we really take ownership of our democracy. There is no us and them. There's no big bad government out there. The government is us, of the people, by the people, for the people. And so the last point I would just encourage you is to put science of mind principles in action when you vote. Cast an informed vote, but think about, what does my vote create in terms of a world that works for everyone? How does it increase access? How does it give voice to the voiceless? What can I do with my vote to make the world a better place? This isn't just an hour that we come to on Sundays to enjoy beautiful music and feel good, but voting is a way that we can take these principles out into the world and create a better place. So I encourage you to vote on April 5th and use it for good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to pray in here. So I'm Carla. I'm part of the prayer team. And if you have a prayer request, you can do it online, or do we still have the prayer box out there? Yeah, there's multiple places. I'm available after the service for a little short prayer. If something, is on your heart today, we'll go behind the little partition there and pray. I wrote my prayer out this morning just because I was distracted. So anyway. I'm closing my eyes because that's what I want to do, and I encourage you to close your eyes and focus on what feels like God to you. So I'm taking a deep breath in, and I'm just feeling the love in this room right now. This is so wonderful, wonderful. God is love. God is light. God is joy. God is peace and patience. God is expressing in me, through me, as Carla. So therefore, my words have great power. Know this, it's true. When you align yourself with the great source of the universe, your words have great power because God loves us. God, source, the great creator. So God is expressing in me, as me, through me. So when I speak my words have great power. And I speak my words for myself and everybody who hears these words. Anything that's on your heart, any lack, limitation, any health issues, they're gone. I focus on love, joy. I focus on abundance and vitality and healing and health and community and service and getting our hands in the dirt and making the CSL here a beautiful place, which is going to be wonderful as we get ready to celebrate Easter and everything it means, whether it's the Christian or meaning of Easter or Passover or Ramadan. This is a holy time. This is a holy time, a time of healing. So whatever might be on your heart right now, let it go. Let it go and know that everything's in divine right order. Everything's in divine right order. So I bless CSL, I bless the ministers, the music, I bless everybody in service and everybody who's just here to experience and heal. And I know that this service is perfect and good and wonderful and filled with love. And so as I let this go and with great gratitude, I declare and I ask you to say with me, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. A thought for the day. A thought for this week, actually. It comes from Thomas Troward, who, of course, is a pioneer of New Thought. And so it shouldn't surprise you that this is how it goes. Belief in limitation is the one and only thing that causes limitation. Ruminate on that. Thank you.
Kurt Landis, everyone. I just want to do something special today because there's an 8th wedding anniversary today with Brenda and Patrice, 8 years, and they've been together 18 years. So congratulations, Brenda and Patrice. Thank you. And now for Dr. Reverend Larry DeRusha, Reverend Dr. Larry DeRusha.
Thank you. All right. Many of you may know, and many of you may not know, Kurt played with Chuck Berry. All right? And who else?
I love to drop names. So. Who else? Well,
Yeah.
My buddy Vince last night. I played with Albert King, who people in the blues world know who
Love
that is.
Albert.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
Some people don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Some of the names I drop, no one knows. So. But Chuck Berry, they know.
I drop a lot of names and nobody knows.
And I
Well,
played here.
Yeah, you've been here like 2 or 3
Yeah.
times.
That's on the resume.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on the resume.
there we are. If you want to, it's more comfortable down
Okay.
here.
I didn't know how.
Yeah, I'm long-winded. Yeah. Good morning. Everybody's out enjoying the sun, I can see, huh? I would be too, except she asked me to be here. I won't name who that was. So today, let's talk about vision of your life. Ernest Holmes was really quite big on vision for your life. And I want to start that over the last few years, we've had this whole shutdown that's taken place. Interesting, huh? It's amazing what has come out of this shutting down all of our commerce and everybody having to stay home and wearing masks and all the variety of things that have taken place. Who would have thought, right? It also created, I think, some of the most anxious and fearful individuals that prior to that were maybe teetering or didn't even think about it, but when they had to be alone and they had to start thinking about what was going on, and this panic that's sweeping the country, sweeping the world, it really got to the psyche of individuals. And it caused some to crack, and it caused some to really reevaluate what was going in their lives, and some to turn inward. It was a psychological phenomenon that we haven't seen. We've had probably the panic of 1918 with the flu was a different type of panic. Even back in India, they had, I remember reading about Ramana Maharshi in The Great Saint, and I think it was around 1906. They had a pandemic that swept India, and literally it killed almost everybody who was in the ashram. And there was like 2 or 3 people that were in the ashram after the pandemic had swept and basically wiped out most of this town. It seemed to be just in that particular town. So this is the first experience we've had in modern days where we've had to go from 50 to 100 miles an hour back down to like 5 miles an hour, and in some cases a mile an hour. It changed everything. We were charging forward. We were constantly going. We were out there to achieve and do the best that we can do, and more and more and more and more. And what we found is this whole game of achievement is not something that gave us a lot of satisfaction. It's something that we did almost mechanically, that we were trained into doing and told about for so long that we were supposed to achieve and be successful. I can tell you from personal experience that success isn't necessarily all it's cracked up to be. And especially I have had workings with people with billions of dollars who are so dysfunctional, it's hard to believe that they created that amount of money. I just say it must have been good karma from another life. But it's a time in which the planet, I believe, has brought our attention to this whole idea of what does it mean to be me? What does it mean to be me? Am I this mind and body, or is there something in here that's running this mind and body? What is going on inside as we take a deeper look inside of ourselves? Who are we and what are we about? Change, we know, is inevitable. Well, all you have to do is look at the various stages of your life and you'll see what change is like. I don't look anything like I did when I was 10 years old. I don't look anything like I did when I was 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. In fact, I looked in the mirror this morning and I said, who is that? Shocking. And yet, there's something within that hasn't changed at all, ever. It's still the same as it was the moment I came in. So we have kind of had to reevaluate our lives and who are we and what are we doing and where are we going and why. And of course, that time of silence was also a time of the mind going crazy and going over and over and over and over things. Because you can only watch so much television and listen to so much news and read so much before you have to be with your mind. And in some cases, it's going all the time anyway. That committee upstairs is making that narrative of your life. It's almost like the committee is trying to make a movie and it doesn't know what to make. And it makes decisions on this and then it changes its mind. What's going on? The mind gets out of control when it doesn't know what to do with itself because all the subconscious stuff begins to boil up. So now's a good time to reevaluate and say, okay, what are my values? What do I really value in life? And what's the vision for my life? There's two paths I want to talk about. And of course, this comes from the famous Robert Frost poem. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So that poem is very powerful, the whole poem. I urge you to read it. It's not very long at all. So there's two paths here that I want to talk about. The path of life vision, what's the vision for your life, and the path of letting go. And one is a path, and the second one is the other path, and I'm going to recommend the last path, but I want to take us through this life vision process a little bit because we're all growing at different steps and in different phases, and having a vision for our life oftentimes will propel us. Most of the world is actually propelled into growth through suffering. Yes? Most of the people that come through the doors of churches have been suffering, and they come in to see if there's some relief. Oftentimes they get a temporary relief, and then they're off and away again, and then the next suffering event or traumatic event, they're back again. Really, the suffering needs to propel us inside. That's what it's all about. The suffering is, pain is the way the body knows that something is out of balance. And suffering is the way we know something in our mind and life is out of balance. So when we move to vision, this is a great quote, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. That's powerful to say because quite often we build our vision of our life from our head. And our head, meaning the mind, is going to generate stuff from our subconscious that we may be trying to achieve in order to create, let's say, success. And why are we trying to create that success? Maybe it's because we want to show somebody else that we're okay. Maybe, so there's a lot of different reasons. Vision for your life needs to come from the passion of your life. Passion meaning that electrified energy within you that wants to create something and to create in the world. And so Thomas Troward, who was one of the people that Ernest Holmes, who founded this movement, loved to read and really helped him understand more about metaphysics. And this is one of his great quotes. "My mind is the center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for the expansion and fuller expression, as this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in the past, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth." So divine operation, when he talks about the divine operation, what he's talking about is what we clearly see in our mind's eye, what we clearly know for ourselves, what we absolutely believe is a creation manifestation formula. It says if you completely believe, for example, the vision for your life, and if you see in your mind's eye with that vision, then you will create that in your life. He goes on and he says, therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner in me. In other words, the divine mind works the same in everyone. Consequently, in my own special world, of which I am the center, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. That's really a powerful statement about how the mind works and how you can create new. And Ernest Holmes talks about vision. What's your vision? Now, when he says, what's your vision, he's saying, what do you see in your mind's eye? What do you see in that area that's you want to create? He says, when you have a clear vision in your mind's eye, all the obstacles to it clear away. So I'm flashing back to the 90s or the late 80s when everybody was doing vision boards. How many of you did vision boards? Yeah, almost everybody in here. So the vision board is really a powerful tool because you can take this board and you can put pictures, all kinds of things that you want to create in your life, and you put it in a place where you're going to see it over and over and over again. And it creates, right? Mary Jean and I did it for the first house we were in, and as we put pictures up all over, we got to the point where we were going, this is the same furniture that's in the pictures on our vision board, because it embeds itself within the subconscious mind and then creates in the outer world. Everything comes from our inner world out. And we did vision boards for the next place that we were in. So we've done a number of them. And it's really powerful to know that there are tools to do that. But the issue I had at the time was that you put together a vision board, and the vision board is about creating something that you want to see manifest in the world. And the reason why you're doing that is obviously you want to experience happiness from whatever that situation and circumstance is. And yet, when we do that, we're investing ourselves in something that's by nature going to change and go away at some point. So yeah, we got the house. We're not in that house. We haven't been in the first house in 35 years or more. We weren't in the second house that long. And then we were in another house and another house. So that all changes. So did the happiness go away once you got in the house? Actually, everything else gets in the way of the happiness. You got that happiness for a few minutes or a few days or a few months or whatever, but it goes away. So that's not permanent happiness then. Therefore, what that vision board should see and be is a statement of qualities you want to experience in your life. What are the qualities that you want to experience? And put things that represent those qualities on that board. So then, happiness is something you're going to discover can only come from within. Harmony only comes from within. Peace only comes from within. And it will help in the generation of that within yourself. It opens the door for that inner experience. I use an analogy about we are limited because when we came into this world, we came into a world that we had to adjust to. There was languages and there was, whatever. I think about somebody who was born in an airplane and in the cockpit, and it's one that has no windows, and all that they can see are the dashboard dials. All that they know about the outside world is limited by what they can see on all these devices that measure what's going on in the outside world. But the outside world is really different. There are storms, there are lots of winds, all kinds of things out there. We came into this world and we don't know the vast infinity of things that go on in this universe. Just from my experience with quantum physics, it's mind-boggling what it's like. Hard to imagine, and yet we have come into this world and we have adapted to the way the world is, and we believe the world is finite. And we believe that we are finite, and we have these limitations that are brought on. We need to recognize that within us, we either have lots of limitations or we have the ability to believe that it's unlimited. Once we come to the realization it's unlimited, then the process begins within us of how we're going to come to touch that place of the infinite. So with the statement of the divine mind, we all have the divine mind. Everybody came in with this divine mind. Everybody came in as a part of this. If we go back to quantum physics, the quantum field. The quantum field is everything. If the quantum field is everything, then we would call that in philosophy consciousness. And if everything is consciousness and our universe came out of this quantum field, then it's part of the quantum field. Therefore, it must be the same as the quantum field. Then this universe creates all of these planets and all these things in the universe. And by the way, there's multiple universes. We now have in our string theory, we've come to 12 different dimensions, of which every single one has a variety of universes within it. Is that mind-boggling? That's like, I didn't see that from inside the plane. How can I get there? But we have all of this experience to know that this is all there is, and yet we haven't had the experience of the quantum field. Because the quantum field for us is inside. Once you get to the higher level of consciousness, there's no mind thinking, there's no body that's asking questions of when we're going to eat, when we're going to drink. You go beyond all of that. And in that place, there's a silence that is absolutely astonishing, is the best way to say it. It's amazing. That peace, that joy, that happiness is all sitting right there. So the other path is called letting go. Deepak Chopra says, holding on to anything is like holding on to your breath. You'll suffocate. The only way to get anything in the physical universe is by letting go of it. Letting go of it, it will be yours forever. So the concept here is letting go. I want to take it a step further. So if there's a power in the universe which is consciousness, and consciousness is all there is, yes, as we have demonstrated over and over in quantum physics now, it's all there is. Then it created this finite experience that we're having. And if it created this finite experience that we're having, then it must also be creating the life we're experiencing, yes? So maybe if we're able to let go of trying to manipulate the universe into giving us what we want, and stopping pulling the strings of everybody and everything around us to create something that we're going to go, I didn't really want that. I wanted this. We're going to find out that the universe knows a whole lot more than we do. And it knows more about our life than we do. As Amma said, everything you needed to be, the measure was taken before you were born, and you came in exactly the way you were supposed to be, to live the life that you're going to live. And then we're talked out of it. And then we're told that's not true. We're going to give you the rules, the regulations, the laws, and so on and so forth, of how you're going to create the life you're supposed to create according to the books that we have for you. You see, we are trained out of understanding who we truly are. The power of who we are is infinite. It's within us. It's not within the mind. It's not that place within us. It's that place that when we go into the silence, that our awareness takes us. And awareness is the key. Awareness of the silence. When you're in deep sleep, you think that the whole world's gone, isn't it? No experience there, correct? Wrong. You're actually experiencing. You just don't know because you're not used to experiencing pure silence. But you're experiencing. You're also experiencing because you know when the alarm goes off, something knows the alarm's going off, and you're coming out of that sleep. Something knows. What's the something that knows? Awareness is what knows. So letting go is about letting go of doing all the things that aren't working for you and trusting that something in the universe will guide you and lead you in the right direction to the right people in the right places if you trust and absolutely believe it. Those are keys because oftentimes we start off and the first thing we do doesn't really work because we didn't believe it was going to work. I need to try this first. What's that saying? I don't trust. I don't know that that's possible. Everything you need, you have within you. I say this hundreds of times and thousands of times since I started talking. I think maybe when I was 5 years old I said it. You're unique. Once you figure out this universe is so amazing, it created almost 8 billion people on this planet, not one of which is the same exact person as another. It took the universe 14 billion years to create you so that it could experience this vast infinite beingness that is this universe. 14 billion years to create you, that's a long time to create you. Think about it. Can you think 14 billion years? I have trouble thinking 5 years. So, what's the bottom line? Well, you can use some of the vision techniques. This is a little bit of what I called the observer, the Wayne Dyer quote. Becoming the observer, step back. You begin to live in the process, trusting where source, infinite intelligence, is taking you. You begin to detach from the outcome. That detachment allows things to just come to you. You no longer make things happen, but to allow them to show up, and the fight is over. Isn't that great? It's a perfect statement of letting go. We're so attached to things out here. You know, this next shiny object becomes the next thing that we adore and attach ourselves to and can't give up, because if I gave it up, my whole life would be over. Wow, you're letting that control you? That's backwards, isn't it? So he's saying, let go. The observer is that part of you that's aware that your mind is talking. The observer is that part that knows there's a body and it knows the world out here. That, when you get to that place of the witness, that's the place within you where everything is coming from. That's source. So Oh, I like this affirmation for the end. I dare to be me. Am I hot stuff? Truth is, you really are hot stuff. You are the power and presence of the universe channeled through a finite body that wants to create the infinite for itself again. You have everything you need. There are thousands of personal growth, millions of personal growth tools out there that'll help you take control of your mind, which is really step one in this whole game, is you have to take control of your mind or your mind will take control of you. And when it takes control of you, we see what it looks like. It looks like this chaotic nonsense that goes on all the time in the world. And by the way, it's been going on for thousands of years. When you take control of your divine mind, you can create the life that you want. And you can let go and let the power within you flow through you and create your life. You can decide. Know the truth about yourself, though, that the moment that you start talking negatively about yourself, you're impressing that into the mind, and it begins to show up in your life. And you go, why is that happening? You can track that right back to the way you've been thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. Who said that? Who's that guy? Ernest Holmes, yeah. So I've been reading for the 20th time Ernest Holmes and who he is and what he was about in his growth process, and it's quite amazing. I recommend you get the book about his life, written by his brother, and his brother was also a metaphysician. So they were great in what they put together in terms of this philosophy. So there you have it. Namaste. Come on forward. Go ahead. We'll do it together.
Would the prosperity receivers please come forward? And while they're coming forward, there is a birthday this week that we want to acknowledge. Marsha Walton, happy birthday. Yes. Anybody else have a birthday this week? Yeah. Well, actually, I thought Cora's is Wednesday.
Can I have my birthday today?
Okay, came up on my calendar. It's Wednesday. Okay, maybe she celebrates it 2 days. Anyway, happy birthday, Marsha. Happy birthday, Cora. Whatever is your gift today, I just give thanks for it. Close your eyes for a moment and give thanks for the prosperous being that you are. You may in the past have said, oh my God, I don't have enough, I don't have anything. Stop that thinking and right now know that you have plenty and the universe wants to give you even more. So one way you demonstrate you have plenty is you give with love, something, anything. And you give it freely with love, declaring, I am prosperous, and everything I give comes back to me, multiplied, pressed down, and running over. It does. I know it. I've proven it. A lot of you have proven it. Let's all prove it, and let's get this world to prove it, that as we give, we receive. God bless you. Thank you very much. I just also want to, before we have another song, to remind you the next couple weeks, next Sunday is Palm Sunday. We'll be talking about Jesus. The following Friday is Good Friday. We'll talk about Jesus. And then there's Easter, and we'll talk about Jesus. So let's just take whatever he is here for in this planet and make it so that we can use it, so that we become that also. So we're going to have I love this Holy Week time. What's interesting this year, Passover is the same day as Good Friday, which doesn't always happen every few years. But anyway, please just put it on your calendar. Join us for those 3 things as we celebrate one of the world master teachers.
If you know the words, feel free to sing along, by the way. You'll recognize this song. Accentuate the positive and elim. eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. You don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You got to bring joy up to a maximum. Bring gloom down to a minimum. Have faith. A pandemonium is liable to come upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, take Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do, Lord, when everything seemed so dark? They said, man, you got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. You don't mess with Mr. In-Between. Do you want to sing it, or you want me just to sing it by myself? You at least know the chorus, right? Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. I really want you to sing, you know. Let's see if I know it. Bring joy up to a maximum, bring gloom down to a minimum. Have faith, a pandemonium is liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate that last remark, take Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do, Lord, when everything seemed so dark? Let's see if I get it right. You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. And don't mess with Mr. In-Between. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
It's fun having you. Thanks for coming back again. Yeah. Kurt, that was the name I was going to name my first child, but I didn't have agreement, so he's named Todd instead. Would our prayer team come forth, and we're going to surround you all with the Cathedral of Prayer of Wholeness. I also would just want to congratulate Jake. He is a photographer, and he did some amazing photographs of a sports team, and they've been published, and let's just say congratulations, Jake. Yeah. That's beginning his vision. Also, Sherry, who's on the bowls today, is doing Friday, May 6th, a sound bath celebrating May. So the first Friday in May, yeah, she'll be doing her sound bath. So let's just take a moment as we listen to the bowls and move us into that cathedral of peace and love. There's one power, one presence, one life, one divine consciousness, one awareness. And that right now, I know that we live, move, and have our being within this consciousness. It is whole, complete, and perfect. It is love, it is joy, it is peace. It is prosperity, it is creativity. So right now in this space, we know that our life and those around us live in this attitude of gratitude, this place of love. If there's somebody in your life that you'd like to bring into prayer that you know of, call their name out right now. And now call your own name out. For I know that whatever is the vision of every name that you have spoken, whatever is the vision of your own self, that right now, that divine intelligence takes that vision of wholeness and moves you forward step by step to its complete manifestation. So what is it you love? Declare that what you love is part of your life right now. It is your life right now. You love the quality of spirit of peace. That is who you are. You love wholeness. That is who you are. You love possibilities. That is who you are. But right now, if there is something on your mind that you have wanted to demonstrate or attract to your life, declare it. The universe really doesn't care what it is you want if you accept it as yours. So right now, I accept with you, and so does our prayer team, the highest and greatest good for you. And then we know that right now we let go of anything that stands in the way of our fullness. And we're excited for that power and presence of spirit to demonstrate in our life. Right now I give thanks. I give thanks for the amazing opportunities we have. I give thanks for the messages that we have of growth and of wholeness. I give thanks for this life right now, for this life is divine. And so I let it be. And as we say together, and so it is. And I give thanks for all the mulch that's in our front yard that's going to be put down soon. If you want a copy of Larry's book called Intuit, it's in the bookstore right now. We have a few left. One more song.
Should I take requests? What kind of mood do you want? Happy? Okay. I know that somebody said Chuck Berry before, and also Reverend Mary Jean did one time. Is that what you want, something like that? We'll go with Chuck Berry. Feel free to get up and dance or whatever. Well, the last time I did a Chuck Berry song here, I think it was called You Never Can Tell. That became popular in that movie Pulp Fiction. I'm sure it was popular before that, but so this time I'll do Brown-Eyed Handsome Man. This is kind of a fun one, and has the same beat. You can still dance. Arrested on charges of unemployment, he was sitting in the witness stand. The judge's wife told the district attorney, go on and free that brown-eyed man. You bet your job, you better free that brown-eyed man. High in the sky on a TWA, I saw a woman walking across the sand. Walking 30 miles en route to Bombay to meet a brown-eyed handsome man. She crossed the desert for a brown-eyed handsome man. Marlo Venus was a beautiful lass. She had the world in the palm of her hand. She lost both her arms in a wrestling match to meet a brown-eyed handsome man. She fought and won herself a brown-eyed handsome man. Way back in history, 3,000 years, in fact, ever since the world began. Whole lot of good women shedding tears over a brown-eyed handsome man. It's a lot of trouble with the brown-eyed handsome man. Well, the beautiful daughter couldn't make up her mind between a doctor and a lawyer man. Her mama said, honey, now go out and find yourself a brown-eyed handsome man. Like your daddy, brown-eyed handsome man. Well, 2-3 the count and nobody on. He hit a high fly into the stand. He's running round third and headed for home. It was a brown-eyed handsome man that won the game. It was a brown-eyed handsome man. Way back in history, 3,000 years, in fact, ever since the world began. Whole lot of good women shedding tears over a brown-eyed handsome man. It's a lot of trouble with a brown-eyed handsome man. Thank you. I wonder if that's the first time that's ever been played in a church of any kind. Maybe not, I don't know.
I know. I'm just like, okay, we can make this spiritual. Thank you so much for being here, Kurt. And I want to thank everyone for being here. Let's stand and do our closing affirmation together. This is our affirmation for April. I dare to be me. I am hot stuff. Okay, let's do it again. I dare to be me. I am hot stuff. And go through this month knowing that is true. No matter what anyone says to you, remember, I can be me because I am hot stuff. God bless.